なんだ
？You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
ほう。
Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
うん。全然わからんけどな。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that.
急に日に。
Stories.
お。え？え？6月 16？ 全然違うやん。そういうセクションに保存しといて。ランダムテキスト。ああ、はいはいはい。はい。こいつがデータベースは情報公開法に従ってに沿ってかな申請し、ゲーレスとしてアクセス権を取得しておいてある。見たところちゃんと機能しているようだな。オリジナルのビデオテープからの移行は1999年に行われてみたが、その後の Y2K 騒ぎやなんかでこいつは放置されたままってになっていた。残念ながら刑事の映像が入ったサーバーの方を見つけるな。あるいは1997年の洪水の際にやられてしまったものなのが何したこれだけの情報としては十分なはずだ。はあ。え、人の顔じゃね？なんだこれ。遠くから見たらクラックスウィズクラス。なんだこれ。あ、グハック。これなんだ？グレイスハック。ミラータイル。なんだこれ。VH。オセロか？えなんで俺一人でオセロやってんだ？操作しろよ。それはいいとして。なんか出ないじゃん。カッチョ。お、なんか出た。
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. She throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
ラプンツェル。これどうでもいい。どうでもいいな。これあれだったよね。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
これはタグとしては自分がやったと。これは罪を認めてんだよね。罪状認否は認めてると。いや、これ否認です。そっちの否認じゃない。いかがわしいもの見ておりますよ。雰囲気ね。
Well,
全然わからんだけど。
she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
これはどちらかというと、こう写真を見てどう思うかって問われたことに関して回答している。写真について回答。自分の考え。23。
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine.
どういうことだ？
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother.
彼女が見たのは実は夫じゃなくて
And so it's fine.
旦那の浮気かと思いきや弟でした。セクションってこれ何個もいけるの？
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity. Did they catch her there? I don't know.
どういうことだ？同一人物？
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity. Did they catch her there? I don't know.
彼女がついてる。写真の彼女心情についてあ、服装変わるな。
I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week.
Eleanor?
But every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day. Ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage. And she still has a secret like that.
エレノアとダグができた。こんなもんか。彼女。事実これでか。あ、出ない。真実。出ない。全然これのはあはあはあはあ。今読むとあれだな。コンピューターテクノロジー現代は警察活動の根幹を担うものであり、このロジックデータベースは我々の仕事の実施であるかし、このデータベースにはポーツマスの凶悪犯罪関連アーカイブを集めたビデオ映像が使用されています。データは ASR テクノロジーによって自動的に整頓され、各証言や個別クリップに分割されたので、それぞれにキーワードを追加するタグをつけることで法定の提出の際など活用することができます。クリップを取得するには検索ボックスに言葉を入力必要があり、例、強盗、言葉を入力し検索をその言葉をクリップがある。また半角スペースで区切って複数の言葉を入力すると検索の幅を広めることができます。例、強盗。スーパーマーケット。テープを文字起こした資料などが手元にある場合は、発言の全文でダブルフォークテーションで囲うことで、その発言の完全にする、その場所にいたわ。難しいな、これ。私がやったとか。うおでっちゃー。7個のクリップが組み合わせて最初から5番目のクリップです。
Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and handle all the money stuff, so it should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you?
最初だな。服装的にも6月18日のこれでも難しいな。位置とかでしょ。特にあれだから。
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to come back and stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
旦那との思い出だな。死んだ旦那との結婚式での思い出。
I didn't. I slept in the car. I left about 9 that night. I mean, I wasn't there.
否認する理由。
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
びっくりした。何今の。びっくりした。花出てきたな。花。なんだ今の。怖っ。もう一回見たら出るか。花やっちゃった。
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a
なんだ今。
midwife
びっ
called
くりした。
Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
あ、出ない。花。
No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and I'm going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl.
助産師だ。
It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
旦那とか出てくる。旦那っていう。あ、でも旦那はこれか。彼。来た。
He was wearing a shirt, a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
行方不明になってんのか。だから
He was wearing
旦那
a shirt,
旦那かわかんないけど彼っていうのが旦那だと
blue
して
turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
当時の服装だな。
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job, but he didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local.
So,
They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
だから6月この1994年6月18日がまあ例えばだけど行方不明届を出したとかそういうことなのかな。ザ・ロックっていうお店に行ってたから後で調べてみよ
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was
う。ま
upset
た
about
新しい
our
人来た
argument.
ヘレン。
I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
はあはあはあ。ヘレンはブロンド。ブロンド。ヘレンももしかしたら旦那と関係がある。不倫の関係があったかもしれない。
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way.
ん
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way.
いつものことか。いつもなら帰ってきて仲直り。
Suicide? No. I mean, he would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No.
自殺はありえない。73個のクリップだからとりあえず自殺ちょっと一回調べて自殺はこれでしょ。ではこれはまあ口論ヘレンについて来た。
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple,
Peter and
Peter and
Susan.
Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
旦那の名前がサイモン。
It's the Rockington Arms, the Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with, and the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
ああだから旦那はサイモンって言うんだな。ロック。
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong.
別にこれいいか。
Yeah, I had to let myself in. The door locks if it swings too. Yeah, I had to let myself in. The door locks if it swings too.
家についてかな。
Yes, I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key.
家についてパート2。家。あれ、フローレンス調べるか。フローレンス。
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
ん？花は双子？花と双子か？へその緒が巻きついてて死んでるって言ったから、フローレンスに母親が頼んで引き取ってもらうようにしたのかな。
Florence raised me in her home.
あ、やっぱそうだ。
I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
おちょ、また怖い。
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story was in there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
フローレンスは未亡人で、夫がいたけど夫は戦争で亡くなる。で、子供もいなかった。だから、この人は多分双子なんだよね、花と。双子なんだけど、この女性に関してはへその緒が首に絡みついてて死んだっていうことにして、母親は別にもう一人いるからいいっていう感じで、フローレンスが引き取ったんだ。で、フローレンスがずっと育てたんだな、一人で。フローレンスは未亡人。フローレンスは未亡人。悪くない。ってことかな。まあ、服装 OK、フローレンス OK。花について調べてみようか。19個難しいな。
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's Pandre. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
花についてな、これは。
What are you doing talking about Eve? Poor Simon.
あ、様子がおかしい。イブっていう言葉もできた。あ、イフは後だ。
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Huh?
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
彼女はハナ・スミスだと自覚している、自分を。
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. It was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
うわ、めっちゃクリップあるやん。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work, mirror making, feature windows, artistic things, really beautiful things.
サイモン・スミスは旦那でしょ？サイモンと花が夫婦関係？
Yes, there's an abstract one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing.
これはどうでもいいよ。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
だから6月18日がやっぱり最初の取り調べというかあれなんだろうな。
Thanks. Please find Simon. I love him so much.
どういうことだ？三角関係？むずっ。ややこしい。
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
イブへの憎しみね。
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her
サイコパスすぎるだろ。
and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up afterwards. It was a love-hate relationship.
サイコパスすぎん？
Police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
うん。
My mother called me Eve.
母は私をイブと呼んだ。うわもうなんだ。わからん。なんだよ。わけわかんなくなっちゃうって。旦那じゃねえんだよな、多分。エレノも調べて。
I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
1週間後の。
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in, Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. Eleanor?
警察署に来るまでの流れか。エリカまあいいや、後で調べよ
う。1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
結構えぐいこと言ってんな。うちが入ってたってことや。
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
コーヒーのシミって取れないって。なんか。へ エリック結構。
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
エリックは上司か。上司だったな。そういえば。サイモンの上司。
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one. Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
ダイアン。ダイアンについて多分出るんじゃないか。お、ダイアン結構ある。
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the Glaziers, organises the Christmas party.
エリックの嫁か。
They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there. Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
時計が止まってんだな。グラスゴ？土地の名前か。
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off CFAX, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
フェンネルってなんだ？
Simon and Eric arguing?
急に
No.
ギター？
I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
でもダイアンこれじゃないしな。あ、ダグがまだか。
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
なんか難しいな。サイモンと海外って一夫多妻制いいの
？She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine.
弟？
one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to.
喧嘩のないような。
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband.
25日の時点ではまだ夫は見つかってない。だからサイモンは見つかってないんだ。
When you've been married for 10 years, stuff accumulates. We could argue about anything. And he's so nice. That doesn't help. He tries to smooth things over, and that just makes it worse. We're both passive aggressive, so we never normally argue directly about anything.
カッとなって殺したんじゃないの君。
Yes, I'm fine.
27日はもう見つかっとんだな。
Oh, I was sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
子供がいるんだ。
When you suspect someone of murdering their husband.
ああ、だよね。でも、この妊娠が別の男性とだったら。きたー。
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
誰だ二人って。
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after.
一回流産を経験している。
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back, me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
一回流産を経験したけど、再び妊娠を報告。妊娠したからそれを報告したと。接触。あ、そうとか。これ、何をどうしたら、ああ、そういうことか。このデータベースを全部見つけないといけないってこと？むずっ。これ何なんだろう？アンチグレー。あ、そういうこと。あ、これで雰囲気が。あ、こっちの方が雰囲気があっていいな。他に家とか。
Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
かなり落ち着いてんだな、最初の取り調べの時も。
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present.
この辺が様子おかしいんだよ。
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
いろんなものを調べてる。パブとかある。
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of girlfriend.
パブでの立ち回りと
God,
いうか。
I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone follows him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense. No, I was 15. Carl was older.
カールが出てきた。
17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex.
わ
We did it in a church once.
お、なんて悪いやつだ。
So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months.
私たち
It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
あ、ちょっと待って。カールか。カール。カール。
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
カールとのセックスの話し始めた時。
Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
ね、カールが初おせっせの人で、その後何か付き合って最終的にサイモンと結婚をしたと。
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
え？ヘアブラシを突っ込んだってこと？
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems.
ああ、やっぱそうなんだ。一卵性ソーセージだ。
It was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him.
はあ。
I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
だから花とこの人は一卵性ソーセージで、カール、まあ最初にあったカールにアプローチするけど、花の方が内気でアプローチできなかったから、この彼女に頼んで、最初彼がカールのことが好きだからみたいな、気になるからみたいな感じでやったら、この彼女は1回目かなんか分からんけどおせっせをして処女を捧げたの。俺言ってんかな YouTube って、そういうの分からんけど。でそれだと花がデートしたりするときにあれってなっちゃうから、花はヘアブラシで解決したと。でその後サイモンと出会って2人ともいいなと思ってたけど、花は最初のデートの時に2人のルールを破って彼と寝たと。で彼女はそれを気に食わなかったと。気に食わない。出ないよな。寝た。その寝たじゃん。鈴逆ガチャガチャ。
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me. I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
あ？これ誰のことを言ってんの？リュウさんについて調べて。違う。これ違う。
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
両親は死んでると。
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
妊娠できないって言われたのに妊娠しちゃったの。
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile.
サイモンとの子か。
Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
ちょっとあんまり、おい何？ちょっとあまり調べていい？俺あまり検索履歴残したくないけど、これで調べてるとか出てくるから。
I wouldn't say that. It could be passionate. It's just It was more than that. It wasn't just sex like I had been with the other boys. You're reaching here. I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing?
なんかなんかね、なんて言うんだろうな。ハンとイブの二人に質問しているのか。だから結局、難しいんだよな。イブはちょっと何者なんだ。
The parents decided there would be a wedding, and after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow, so we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant, but I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers, drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
ややこしくなるくない？サイモンとハナが一緒に住んでるところにこの人が来たらさ、サイモンってなるくない？
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We was tough. They ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
ぽいね。屋根裏で過ごしてて、でこれが花と一緒に過ごしてたのかな多分。で、今の会話についてはおままごとをしている時のあれなんかな。
It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird in a way it hadn't been before.
だからサイモンとハナはもう同居生活というか普通の一般の結婚生活を送っていて、こいつに関しては屋根裏でひっそりと暮らしていたけど、ハナがもうサイモンに近づかせないような行動をとっていたっていう感じか。人形の家。
Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories. かな。イブどうだったっけ。イブもう一回見たいな。Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. でもイブは別物なんじゃない？ハナとこの女性が一卵性ソーセージで、ハナとサイモンは夫婦関係で、この女性とハナはこのサイモンを共有していた。イブはこの女性にとっての友達。Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once and これはまあ押し付けた。難しいな。あとなんだろうな。全然見つかってないんだよな。双子とか出てくるの？来た。Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question? 双子じゃないの？Are you out of your mind? Twins? There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had pride of place. ハナとイブは違うんじゃない？ハナとこの女性は双子なんじゃない？ We were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
花とこの女性が双子だと思ってたけど、この反応でしょ？
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
双子じゃないんか。ああ、イブは多分別の人だね。この人の名前が分かればいいんだけど、この人の名前は分かんないんだよな。この人の名前なんだっけな。ないんだよな、他の。だから、あと何があるだろう。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday.
サイモンと旅行に行ったのかな。
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff, stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police. From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake, children sang me happy birthday, then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left.
産んだけど捨てたけど、その産んだ人物って花なのかな。だってこの人はまだ妊娠してるでしょ、今この現在妊娠してるから、花とサイモンの間の子供か。はいはいはい。
What's wrong? The bags, I think they were from our kitchen, you can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in, as good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So, it happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
やっぱこの人は殺してんだ。赤ちゃんじゃない。サイモンの死体か。
Bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. His body. Didn't look real. And his throat.
ぽいね。そんな気はするな。
It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. There's these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear. Really? Okay. Here's the rest. Oh, they laid a body on the dock to dry. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain.
すっげえサイコパスの歌だ。いや、袋か、やっぱり袋。じゃあ地下室を見せて。来た。
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
アリバイか。これは今さっきのこの発言。グラスゴー。ほほ。
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
だからこれはアリバイを作るための発言なんだろうな。6月27日は。
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from a payphone, and then headed back. No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
Huh?
No, I don't think so.
目撃者か。
Glasgow was deserted that early in the
いない
morning.
と思うっていうのは多分。
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at.
病院か。
There's a scratch on the car.
本当に病院に行ってるの。
Ask the hospital. I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in
2日の時点
Glasgow
は
and
ま
I
だ
was
認
killed.
めてないんだ。
You've spoken with the hospital? It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think for some space between me and
でも
them.
この時はまだ認めてない。
Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back.
でもこの時公衆電話じゃなくて電話してるな。
I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
公衆電話って言わなかった？
Mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the Glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. It's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle.
これはサイモンの携帯かな？
I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
花電話とかもしれない。これ花。
a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off with the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
タトゥー入れてないって言ってたけどさ、どっかでタトゥー入ってたよね。これ。
Yeah, that's me.
タトゥー入ってるやん。これタトゥーじゃないの？
February, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder? Fine. I've never had my fingerprints taken before. I once found my hand on the oven.
でもこれ腕ない。
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our hands to match.
どっちだ？
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. And she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck frozen peas up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
でも今さっきのなんか調べた時の会話の時にあざがないですねって言われた時に私は消えるのが早いのよみたいなことを言ってたから、この取り調べ官かなんかも花とこの女性の違いが、花ともそのもう一人の一卵性ソーセージの違いが分かってないんじゃないかな。だから双子って聞いた時に私たちが双子のわけあるみたいなことを言って否定した。そう7月3日はなんか違うっぽい気がするね。どっちが花なんだろう逆に。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
タトゥー。
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
どっちが花だ。でこれと6月18日
No.
と7月1日は違うんだよ人が。
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
だから私は存在しないってことだから思うに花ではない方なんだよ。名前のない。そう。タトゥーが入ってる方が 待てよ。タトゥーが、花にはタトゥーが入っていない。そう。多分そういうことだ。こっちは花なんだよ、多分。あ、でも、待てよ。
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion.
気にタトゥーを入れてね。ちょっと待ってよ。待って、もう一個見よう。
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously, I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time.
そういうことだ。タトゥーが入っているのが双子の隠蔽者。
I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
だから花にはタトゥーが入ってないんだよ。そう。うわ、そういうことか。あとなんだ。確かに動機だな。いや出ねえな。2人とか。2人、花。
Yes, it was a cremation for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy. And after the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches, and I stayed out of sight. Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon.
But 何?
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
サイモンが、そうだね。で、もともと花とサイモンは結婚している関係だけど、このもう一人の花の双子の人が歌ってる時にサイモンが近づいてきて、でもサイモンは花がいることを黙っていた。でもその双子の女性の方については、花の旦那がサイモンっていうのを知ってたから、って意味だよね。浮気か。何これこれ。いい感じ。
An affair. Simon wasn't having an affair.
これは花なんじゃ
An
ない？
affair. Simon wasn't having an affair.
サイモンは浮気なんてしないわっていうのは、これは花なんでしょ多分。これ何月だ？いや、知らないんだと思う。どうだろう。6月30日はこれは花なんだよ多分。
No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon. In the bedroom. That can't be right. In the bedroom. I sleep on the right side of the bed. As you come in from the door, you can tell because I have two pillows and he just has one.
いや、双子のことは多分知らないと思うんだけどな。
I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
う ああ、はいはいはいはい。それはあるかもね。それは全然あり得る。あと何が解明しないのかな。検索履歴で多かったのが、まあ、サイモン。
That's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby.
ああ、それもあるな。そっくりだし、違う点としてはタトゥーが入っていた。
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night. After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away, so I took the car. I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. When I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And Excuse me. Is there a bin?
つわりか。うわ最後家。
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went back there. They have been my parents' fingerprints. I'm not sure how long they last for, but is that possible?
花も隠そうとしてるのか。
When she went home, Salmon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Salmon about me, told him I was pregnant.
Yeah.
She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face.
これじゃない？ちょうどそれなんじゃない？サイモンが双子のことを知ったっていう発言。これじゃない？
When she went home, Salmon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Salmon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had. She knew that instant. The look on his face.
これじゃない？ちょうどだ、ちょうど。
When she went home,
誕生日がいつなんだろう。誕生日がやっぱりきっかけなんじゃない？誕生日の日が。
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that.
些細のことだったんだけどっていうのが、これがサイモンに双子だよっていうのを伝えた日なんじゃない？仕事か、仕事。
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you. 'You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son.
ちょっと待ってよ。
But he only cared for the youngest one. All the dreadful oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in
サイモンっていつ死んだ？花の誕生日。そう。多分花の誕生日から、花の誕生日ぐらいなんだろうけど、その花の誕生日がいつかわからないのと、今のこの歌的に、やっぱり李漢寺が最初言ってた、この女性2人って花とイブなんじゃないかなっていう。この歌聴いとっても、この姉妹が海辺を歩いている。姉は妹を海に押し入れる。2人は船長の息子に恋している。で、この船長っていうのがサイモン、もしくはカール。だけど息子が好きなのは妹だけ。だからイブの方なんだ。姉は花なんだ。花が顔面を押し付けている。それがイブが押し付けられてたから、花とイブなんだよ、多分。だからこの女性はイブなんだよ。どっちかがね。じゃないか。そんな気がした。いつ死んだんだ？死んだってし。あ、なんか出てきた。
It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford. When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
そうなんだよ。サイモン殺しの動機なんだよな。難しいな。君の母さんがなぜあんなことをしたのかわからん。いいのかな。サラ、まあ仕方ないです。サラなんなら日を改めたって外で待ってるからロゴオフして。なんか終わっちゃった。子供か。俺は子供役だったんだ。お腹にいた。なんか終わっちゃった。やばい。すごいモヤモヤして終わっちゃう。まだ、ちょっと結局サイモンを殺した。うわ、もやもやってなるよな。いや、 まあ、今分かったことは、俺は、だからどっちだ、ちょっと今頭が回転あれなんだけど、このお腹にいた赤ちゃんが俺だったんだな。多分。で、真実を突き詰めるために、このデータベースで解析してたのか。ああ、まあ一応できるのか。ってことは、サラが出てくるか。
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Oh. サラはまあまあまあまあ。
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
Grace Kelly.
Then she told me she wanted to help more. She said I should move in with her. She would come clean with Simon about me. I was family. I couldn't have a baby in a bedsit. I told her I didn't want to tell Simon. Told her to wait for the time being.
イブは妹だから、イブはサイモンに知られたくなかったんだな。妊娠していることも、もうわけわかんなくなっちゃう。花と双子っていうのを伝えたくなくて、ちょっと待てと花に言ったんだけど、っていう感じか。待つ。
It was a shock to him. I mean, we never thought it was possible. I don't know what he... I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it. Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
これはイブだ。これは7月3日はイブだ。
Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really.
いや、ここの時点で、花の身勝手な行動のせいで私たちの道は2つに分かれているっていうから、花が妊娠してんだよ。多分。花の身勝手な行動のせいで私たちは、の道は2つに分かれてって言ってるから、じゃないかな。だから7月3日はイブなんだよ。嫉妬じゃ出てこない。流産したのはイブなんだよ。待てよ。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
で、これは花。で、花は多分昔流産したって言ったのはイブなんじゃないかいな。
My name is Hannah. Hannah. It's Pandre. Maybe it's the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work from Eric though, it's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith, I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
だから花
My mother called me Eve.
やっぱイブなんだよ。イブ。
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course.
やっぱりイブなんだよ。イブ。こっちがイブだ。
We were aligned again.
で、花は妊娠ができない。
But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon
だから
had a job at the Glaziers now.
イブが
Eric
妊
had
娠。
given a full-time position after he left school.
そうだね。花は妊娠できないけど、イブは妊娠できる。
Yeah. I mean, I was infertile. Thought I was. They
で、
told
こ
me
れ
I
は
was
花。
infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
こっちは花。6月30日は花なんだ。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric.
27、30は花なんだけど、27とそういうこと。サイモンとのこうイブが妊娠しているってこと。な気がするね。結局気に食わなかったんだよ。サイモンがイブと浮気してて、それを気に食わなかった。私が子供も産めないのに、体なのにイブと子供を作ったサイモンが許せなくて、ハナがサイモンを殺した。それが動機じゃないかな。
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
そう、証拠がない。なんかそんな気が、完全犯罪をしようとしていると思うね。そうなんだよね。でも地下室のことについて特に何も触れてないんだよな。で地下室って言ってもこれしか出てこないし、袋は出てこなかったし。
It was after dinner. The week out.
子供用品。
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
13個のクリップだからあと8個あるはずなんだよ。
It was after dinner.
これ今さっきのさ。
I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the
わからんなあ。 まあもともと海外のゲームだから日本語にまあ翻訳されてるとはしても出てこない可能性があるからちょっと難しいところはあるんだよな。まあいい時間だしな。なるほどね。出るかな。死因とか。出ないな。剣士。いや、剣士も出ない。狂気。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories. Okay. Sounds weird. I'm not great at making up stories.
そう、凶器が何かナイフとか。なんか出た。
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
ハサミ？いや違う、本。
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. Offsets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before when he comes in.
財布の場所がわからんな。50%以上のデータベースへのアクセスを完了したって。今 50%。マジ？どうする？ギター？ギター？
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical.
おー、いい感じ、いいとこつくね。
Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
ギターのセンスないんだ。音楽聴くのは好きだけど、ギターが凶器なわけはないと思うけど。でもやっぱりこれで2人いるっていうのはもう確定だし、あれなんだけど、凶器が結局わかんないんだよね。 まあどうしようかな。もう配信開始から2時間半で解析できたのはなんと 50%。 もう殺した動機的なのは、また次回。そうだね。いやでもこれ以上調べるワードがねえんだよな。まあ次あれだな、リカチも V つないでやるか。それがいいけど、俺一人だとちょっと厳しいところがあるな。いやまあね、もう一個ハーストーリー以外にもう一個あるんですよ。ハーストーリー以外だとなんだっけな。ハーストーリー以外だともう一個ねやりたいのがあるんすよ。もう一個がなんだっけ。ハーストーリーに似たゲームがどこだろう。ドキドキ AI 尋問ゲームじゃなくてもう一個あるから、それもちょっとやりたいなと思ってるから。まあ確かにね、ちょっとまた後日だな。まあ俺はまあ木金土と休みなんで、やれるときやりたいな。確かにこれはなんかこうメモ取りながらやってた方が絶対いいね。こうわけわからんくなっちゃうから。明日やるか。全然いいよ。いや、どうなの体調は。治ったのかな。まあ俺も明日夕方ぐらいからだったら多分いるし、昼はちょっとご飯食べに行ったり買い物行ったりするから気になってね。面白いでしょ。俺こういうゲームが好きなんだよ。こういうゲームが好きなんだけど、体調は大丈夫なんだ。これいつだったかな。どのゲームだったかな。もう一個ね、一回少し前にやったゲームがあるんだけど、あれどれだっけな。うわどれだっけ。似たようなねゲームがあるんですよ。ハーストーリー以外だと、待てよ。選択型のゲームもう一個あるんですけど、これどっから見ればいいんだ。探偵というか、どれだ。俺のライブラリーがちょっと多すぎて、あれなんだけど、レイトシフトってゲームだ。それもやりたいから、 まあ明日以降またちょっと一緒に VC つなげてやろう。じゃないと一人じゃあれだ、難しいわ。ぜひね次やろうということで、今日の配信は終わりますので、ありがとうございました。とりあえずは今日はハーストーリー終わります。ありがとうございました。待機して、はい、了解です。